didn't have some dumb decision by WB. So this is going to be a twofold conversation. One, super negative. The second one, negative and positive. So let's talk about the cancellations because
Mhm.
boy, the Authority,
Mhm.
Swamp Thing, Booster Gold, Paradise
I mean,
Lost.
the only one that makes me like kind of sad and upset is Swamp Thing because I really wanted to
Same.
see what they could do with that.
Yep.
The other ones is just like I can see what Gunn and them were trying to do is go out there with franchises that people may have
Yeah.
not known are really niche, but in the grand scheme of things, probably wasn't gonna make it to full production
Well, also
because
like
of that
among
issue.
these is Waller. Waller, I forgot. I was like,
Yeah,
that seems like a surefire thing after Peacemaker and Creature Commandos. Waller should be so simple to put together. Like,
yeah.
what happened?
Like it's just no, it's just really weird because like you said, some of these projects you were really like you wanted them to happen, but for some reason they can't. I guess it's because of how they're trying to put their slate together and how things are going for multiple fronts. Especially, I don't want to talk about it too much, but on all fronts, either be on animation and the video
Yeah.
game front, trying to merge all these three mediums into one coherent, I guess, universe that they're trying to do
Hmm.
is a lot harder than they made it seem, and it is
So
turning out to be like that.
I found it weird because amid all these cancellations
Mm,
that they're announcing, and talking about how they're having a hard time getting these projects off the ground, they
mm.
confirm 2 films a year, 2 live action
Yeah,
shows a year, 2 animated shows a year, standalone animated films, and then video games every couple of years. I'm like, you guys are already out Marvel Studios, and you put out one project that's animated.
yeah,
That's
like
wild, you
yeah,
know?
because if you just take like what you said, if you just take a little, like a quarter of that being
Yeah.
like video games and animation, I don't know how they like reasonably. Because I was thinking about it, I didn't know how reasonably they could actually do that in a reasonable time. Because depending on the animation style, it can take anywhere between like 3 to 5 years to get something off the
Yep.
ground, and to get it with quality control and not rough cuts. Because I've seen in some animation where they get pushed out like almost within a year, and it's
Hmm.
like it's rough where
Yeah.
things are
Well,
still PNGs sliding across
that's
the
what we
screen.
learned about Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
They want the second season out there because it's overwhelmingly positive. And I'm like, you know what?
Mm,
You probably can expedite that. Some of the other things you're working on,
mhm,
fine. I get some things are gonna fall apart. This is in contrast, though, like I posted in the CBC group a
mhm.
year ago, almost to the date, James Gunn was like, what makes DC Studios operate better than Marvel Studios is that we're not announcing or greenlighting anything until we're confident it's getting made and have
But
scripts.
I'm like, but he did announce a couple things and they got canceled.
Gun, you just said Waller, you can't nail the script, and you've tried multiple times. So, like, I get it. He's a studio man now. He's got to kind of lie.
Yeah.
He's got to do the Kevin Feige thing. He's got to master saying nothing while trying to say something. He's
Yeah,
really got to learn that.
because it's like there's only so much you can do with people like nagging you about what's coming next, and you
Hmm.
can. There's only so many times you can say, "Oh, just keep your eyes peeled."
Yeah.
We're working on a bunch of stuff. There's only so much you can do, and I get it with investors and the like, and they want to hear about potential projects to get more investor money
Yep.
going into them. It's hard to keep people's attention when every time you announce something and within let's say like 2 years it's not going anywhere because you can't agree on things and where the project is headed, so you
Hmm.
cancel it. So
Well,
like why would a person be invested in what you're potentially going
exactly.
to put out when you guys are just doing this again, but
Right.
I guess more
And
methodically.
this is a repeat of what happened with the Snyderverse. Remember, they came out,
Yeah,
announced a whole slate of things like we're going to make these, but they weren't moving forward at all with
yeah.
half of them. Which then brings us to Lanterns. We got our
Mhm.
first look.
Yeah, it's cool. I thought like they give like more like things to look at than one picture, but
Yeah. In my opinion, and I've seen the sentiment
Mhm,
echoed a lot, this was a terrible first look because so this I did does it pass the test?
mhm,
My wife is a perfect candidate for this. She comes home, she loves comics, she knows all these characters. And I was
mhm,
like, he hasn't seen the Green Lantern photo. So I'm going to try this. So I put it up on the phone. I'm like, what is this? And she's looking at it. She's looking at it. I don't know. And I was like, okay, here's another one. It's a dark, grounded series set on Earth in the Deep South. She was like, are they rebooting Terminator? What is this? I don't know. I was like, look at the ring. She goes, and I had to zoom and she goes, oh, that's Green Lantern? I was like, and that did not pass the test because you can't, unless you saw that from the DC page or somebody told you, I'm sorry, that's a terrible first look at Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that with like casuals. If you're talking about this is going to be a like superhero like special TV show thing,
Right.
and it looks like a generic TV show for something like it looks like it's on the page of Supernatural. If anyone,
if you were to
get
slap True Detective on the bottom of that, I
Yeah.
would believe it. I would be like, yeah, that's True Detective.
Yeah, I mean, I get what they were trying to do with the gritty, grounded thing and putting it in Deep South, which can offer up some reasoning for people finding out, there's like quote unquote monsters and that they're they're aliens, and that's how they're gonna find out what they need to find out. But they needed to have at least like one of them have something related to them being in the Lantern Corps.
Like, what if he has the jacket, but what if instead of his shirt, the suit is underneath it with the Green Lantern logo or something? You're like, oh, okay. And like the ring may be glowing. Or also like the first picture of Superman, him putting the boots on with the thing behind him. That's clearly not a scene from the film that's going to play out like that. That was a test shot that they wanted out there before the leaks. Maybe a promo image of them standing there with their rings lit up. Like the first image we got of Henry Cavill as Geralt, him in the dark, he's wearing the wig. At least it was something to go by.
Yeah.
This, again, I'm super excited for this. I've talked about this before. I have well over 800 Green Lantern comics. I love that lore. I love that world. This was a bad first impression, any way you look at it. Like, imagine if they announced, hey guys, here's the first image of Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle as the new Iron Man War Machine. And it's just Don Cheadle walking down New York City. You'd be like, okay, that's just Don Cheadle getting breakfast.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, it's just like what is this new like rom-com for Don Cheadle? He's just getting breakfast. Because it's like for better or for worse, there's not technically for newer characters, there's not a lot of projects for the casual crowd to identify them and potentially say, oh, is this a new Green Lantern movie? Is this like a new Catwoman thing? And that's where I question sometimes for promotion, to where people where the higher ups think that they can just put out the actors in a still photo and think that the casual crowd can pick them out and say, oh, this is for that new Green Lantern TV show that they're doing. And I'm like, no, to me, it looks like it's just the actors probably in some generic, probably, either like a detective show or something like that. And it's not what they're trying to advertise. That's why they should have at least something else, even if it was just some CG on the photo.
100%. Like, they tested them in the suits because they would have had to. So they got promotional images of the suits. Like, I don't know. I think this was a bad first impression. Hopefully they'll take care of it when we get more down the road. I'm going to remain optimistic. It's Green Lantern. I want this franchise to succeed. But like the day before they drop, having the showrunner and James Gunn and Safran all be like, well, this is going to be a super dark and gritty, grounded, realistic take on Green Lanterns. Don't expect a lot of fantastical stuff. You're like,
because like, if they're saying that, that must mean that they're not going to be suiting up for quite a while. And if it's only like 8 episodes, they're probably only going to suit for like 2 episodes for like 5 minutes a piece.
Right. And like the thing with the budgets is people don't understand this. The CW did Superman and Lois. And every time they use a lot of CG for Superman fighting even somebody for 4 or 5 minutes, each one of those episodes cost close to $9 million. Lanterns is probably in that same range. The entire season is going to cost 50 to 70 million. you're going to see Lantern action, and that's going to be the episode that's 10, 15 million. And then there's going to be a lot. This is going to be like Marvel Netflix. Something happens, a lot of downtime, something happens, season is ending. You know, like it's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can have something happens. It's just that depending on what your version of what you want from Lanterns is going to vary differently. It's either they're going to be using the ring powers, or for some reason they're going to be fighting hand to hand because, you know, the budget does not allow them to use the ring. So they're going to say, you know, Stuart knows boxing and Hal knows karate for some reason.
The power battery got destroyed and they can only use it twice in the next 3 weeks. Oh, no.
Yep. Either that or the power battery is like somewhere that's really remote that they can't get to for certain reasons.
It's like, we're limited with our powers. We only must use them when it's absolutely necessary. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the only thing. Yeah, the ring is like so low on power. The only thing we can do is having like a detective mode to help us solve this mystery.
Yep. Well, with that out of the way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of the DC talk. We don't want to be too negative on Lanterns, so we'll come back to it when we got more, because we got other stuff to be negative about. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. And if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.